You can kill me, but you will never destroy me. It takes strength to resist the dark side.
Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one.
Are you kidding? Why the hell should I wait for you?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
If you're having nightmares, then welcome to the club. My name's Subaru Natsuki, and I am the Knight of Amelia.
Right now, all I can give you is just death.
It wasn't for you in particular.
You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
If you are feeling disheartened, that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze.
Have I been muted this entire time? Oh, I hope to God I haven't been muted this entire time. That makes my technology comments even that much more funny. Oh, fuck, I've been muted this whole time. Damn it. All right. Let's take it from the top again. Hey, hi, howdy, everyone. Welcome to this fuckery. Chuckle fucks and knuckleheads alike, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. Welcome to the weekend weebery that nobody asked for, but you're getting anyway. And not a lot has happened. There's not a whole lot to talk to, so it's going to be a much more chill stream, especially because I'm still working out the kinks in my new streaming setup. I have a new PC now, like a proper PC. So if you see me staring off over here, I'm looking at my monitor. I have my laptop set up with an administrator account from Streamlabs so that I can operate things over here and continue watching comments. I still need to get some extra cables and stuff for hooking up some of my other screens and all of that so that I can operate on all three at once. So what we're going to be covering, since I was muted when I started saying stuff, is there's a little bit of chibi drama to talk about. I touched on it last week. It got worse. There's some Dragon Ball stuff and some random other things to talk about. It's going to be more chill. But before we get to anything else, I've got to get through the week's anime recap and the rankings and adjusting our little tier list, which is why I brought this up, because it's kind of very relevant to what's going on. So, now that my mic is working properly and I am not muted on my actual account, on my actual streaming computer, let's do this again. So I have watched a lot of stuff this week, and the most notable of which, the one I didn't quite have the time to do last week, Blue Box, because a 1 hour oven install turned into retrofitting a shitload of cabinets and electrical. And yeah, that was a whole bucket of awful that I don't want to talk about. Hold on, I gotta adjust a setting here. We'll go here. There we go. You can't see it, but I feel a little bit better about this. Using light mode, you'll see it when I come back on screen. Anyway, Blue Box. Easily a must-watch for the season. Here's my reasoning. I am not a sports anime guy, but this one is actually genuinely fantastic. Now, this one is also a little bit of a mixed genre. It's sports and romance. Like, the core concept is this sort of romantic relationship between the main character and the most popular girl in school, the captain of the basketball team. So I like that. It's not overdone on the humor. I really do like it. Characters are very interesting to me. And it is incredibly well animated, even when they're using CGI. It is actually very, very, very good. So right now, I think it's at like a 9 out of 10, to be entirely honest. I'm loving the story so far. The chick that the main character has a crush on is now living with him because her parents are moving to another country for work, and she is staying in Japan to try and make it to nationals in basketball. So it just so happens that the two characters' mothers were friends, and now they are living together. Either way, I think it is a very good anime, one that is definitely worth watching. So the next thing that I watched that I need to touch on is I'll Be a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. And like I said last week, it's very stereotypical, like otome game kind of thing. Generally not my style, but this one has me interested because the main character is pretty much like, well, if the heroine can do all these things, I'm going to be able to do them too. I can't stand the idea of the heroine of the game being able to do things that I'm not able to do. So she is intentionally nice and like kind-hearted and doing all these things for other people just to prove that she can do them better than the heroine. And that honestly moved it up one in my ranking. I thought it was pretty good. Not like terribly well animated, but the story's interesting enough. It's still only in just the interesting category, and it's fun. But I don't think I would say I wouldn't put my word behind it. Grieving Soul stays at the top of this list. I like Grieving Soul. It may not be everyone's favorite, but I do enjoy it. So yeah, it's I gotta check something really quick. It's good. I wouldn't say it's too terribly amazing, but it's certainly entertaining. It's certainly worth something of a watch. All right, cool. And we're back to talking about anime. So I do like that like the main character isn't like an absolute like scumbag, and he's still like trying to do some stuff to help his friends and his guild. And he also has like a bunch of like random equipment, so he's pretty much like Magic Batman, if you want to put it that way. Like using all these like different artifacts and stuff to like try and like make the most out of their effects and all. That's another thing I forgot to do, is get a fucking ad blocker and all that. Anyway, it's enjoyable. Again, not like a terribly amazing thing, but it's fun. I enjoy it. Now, we're moving on to the next one. The most notorious talker runs the world's strongest clan. Honestly, I feel like it deserves to move up to very good. The second episode definitely sold me better, though I still do somewhat have my complaints of things moving very, very, very fast. Like the impact of like certain events and the entrance and exit of certain characters in this series already has been robbed by this slower pacing. And that's, well, I guess to some extent you can't help it, but I feel like it could have used a little bit more bonding time for the characters. It would have made it a little bit more interesting to me. IMO. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out my own notes here because I didn't compensate for all these things moving around. So like the next one on the list, 365 days to the wedding. It says +1, but technically it's kind of already gone +1 because I have moved Talker up to the next rank. So yeah. What I've seen of this one I have liked a lot. It is It's not like the most amazing thing, but it's definitely kind of like funny where these two are getting themselves deeper and deeper. Just don't mind me punching my mic. Deeper and deeper into the hole of their own lie. Like now the main character's father is getting involved in all of this because he heard from someone that his son was getting married. So, yeah. Someone also has figured out that it's a lie, but we don't know who yet. I like the development so far, but I still don't think it moves past interesting. So then we get to the healer banished from his party is actually the strongest. I would say that's just okay. Very generic fantasy kind of stuff, roles and dungeons and guilds and all of that. A lot of it works pretty seamlessly, but they like still forget that like the idea of a dungeon needs some explaining in world and needs a little bit of a reason to exist. Now, some series like Danmachi thrive off of the mystery of the dungeon existing. Others, like Mushoku Tensei, have like very cool reasons, like the dungeons are actually living things. So yeah. Same with like Dungeon Meshi. I think it's just okay. It's not like terribly amazing. The fight choreography isn't terrible. In fact, it was better than I expected. But all of its generic tropes do not entice me to continue watching it any further. Next on the list, Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. Episode 2 I really liked. So it moved up. If I can get this to actually go where I want it to. There we go. So Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, I'm moving up to the top of the very good category because this episode was pretty good. It kind of shined a light on who the main character Uryu really is and why we should care. He's a really good guy to children. He's a very nice person overall. He's just kind of awkward and has a difficult time communicating with people, and that makes him seem rather abrasive. And even given like the opportunity to like flaunt his disbelief in the gods and all of that, he chose not to in order to spare the children's feelings. I think it was a good showing for his character. I definitely do like it when people are like as far as like certain writing developments. One of the things that really gets to me is like how people treat children in a series. Like if you want me to hate a villain, have them be absolutely shitty to children. You want me to like a character, have them be really nice to children. I guess that's one of the reasons I end up really, really liking Subaru is because he's not a dick to children. So yeah, there's that. Mecha Ude, I'm also dropping down one below Magilumi here, and those are both I've watched. The second episode was still good, but it feels like the pacing might be a little too rushed. It feels like things got resolutions that were a little too cartoony, but I still really do love the series. I think so far it's been pretty good. Now, however, Magilumiere Co-Limited it's actually been very entertaining. You have this like new grad who is like out searching for a job and she's just become a magical girl and really the only thing that she's got going for her is she's really, really good at studying, but she feels like she's terribly useless to everyone. And she gets sent out on her first job in this episode and actually ends up helping a ton. So yeah, I enjoyed seeing her actually put in some work and do some stuff for the series. And now we move into yet another new one. Goodbye, Dragon Life. And I think this one is also just okay, but I want to move it to the top of okay because it's the one in this section I like the most. And the basic premise behind it is that the basic premise behind it is that a dragon is slain and is reborn as a human and is now living an ordinary life out in a village. And the first two episodes kind of like go through his encounter with some like monsters and other people and Snack Wife, okay? Snack Wife. That's all I got to say. If you're a Monster Musume fan, you might end up enjoying that one. Sorry. I end up getting really stuffed up when I do these. I think it's just the way I talk. I end up making my voice a little too nasally when I start getting really high pitched and all that. It's just the way I talk, okay? I did watch Loner Life. I'm not changing anything about Loner Life because I have enjoyed it, but it's not terribly amazing. So, yeah, I guess that's a thing. I actually do want to move this one up because it's kind of done some interesting things. Lockdown Zone Level X. The animation is still kind of meh in the episode length is weird, but it's kind of started doing this whole like re-zero sort of death loop thing that I think is somewhat interesting. And it's still kind of that like horror and suspense sort of aspect to it, but it's become a lot more interesting with the introduction of the childhood friend character, Shuhei, and I think it's got me interested. Obviously, Dandadan and ReZero and Bleach are going to stay where they are because they have been consistently solid showings the whole way through. They haven't fumbled yet, okay? And I doubt they will fumble because these have been really, really freaking good. Episode 2 of ReZero, absolute fucking banger. They gave Amelia a really good fight scene. The choreography done for that was actually pretty astounding for a episode of ReZero. They have progressed through the like introduction of Wrath, and now Greed is there, and things are only going to get more chaotic. So the chaos spiral of Arc 5 is in full effect now. I also like that they are not sparing the gore. They are just going for it. Dandadan has been consistently good. Again, I saw the episode that aired this week in theaters back in September. But this time around, I watched the dub just to get a comparison, and I actually did think the dub cast did a really good job. And I may just continue watching it in dub because I generally prefer to watch anime that way. Not that I won't watch subs because they're available sooner. But considering this is being simul dubbed, I'm going to probably continue watching the dubs because I don't find the performance insufferable. And yeah, I enjoy watching things in my own native language, believe it or not. That's just how some of this stuff goes. What else in here? There is also Demon Lord 2099. And this one has potential. So I'm going to put it up here in very good because the first episode has some things that I do think are really, really good. But it could still fumble, just like we saw with Uzumaki airing its second episode and people were dragging its animation. But that's another topic that I can get into in a bit. Because that's actually one of the things I have is some comments people have made about that. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the premise of Demon Lord 2099 is in the year like 15 something, Immortals and mortals went to war against each other, and the mortals won, defeating the demon lord, who was then resurrected 500 years later. The issue is, though, that their world and our world, as in Earth, collided, I guess. So, like, the dimensions merged, and the two worlds were fused together pretty much, which ended up wiping out 90% of the population, leaving only like scattered city states to be ruled over. And now technology and magic have advanced so far that the old demon lord is super far outclassed. I do like their use of like magical technology and all that. I think there could be a little bit more work done with there. Choreography and animation presented seem like they could be really good if they keep up episode 1 levels of effort and all of that. And the story has me interested because it seems like the devil is a part-timer, but a little bit more serious, and hopefully won't fall off in a second season. Sorry, fam, but that's just the unfortunate reality of that show. It fell off in the second season. I did watch more of the cross-dressing one, and it felt like kind of more of the same. Like, we got a little bit of like character, a little bit more character interaction, but it kind of felt like the same sort of like flirting and stuff we got. The main chick is really like going hard at the main guy. The mangaka chick and the flashy dude are hitting it off really well because they just apparently they both get along with each other very easily. And the other two, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're constantly hit and miss. What else have I checked out? I've talked about, I guess I could talk about Bleach. I probably need to talk about Bleach since I talked about everything else on here, but haven't mentioned Bleach specifically. Bleach's second episode was really fucking good, and I wish to God every arc of Bleach had fight scenes that good, as good as Ichigo fighting Yhwach, because goddamn, I would have watched the hell out of that series. I would not have been as bored with it as I was when I watched the original. And as far as those rumors of a remake go, I really hope that it actually does get a remake, because of all the big three, I think Bleach deserves a better production effort put into it more than any of the others. I'm just saying, Bleach getting better fight scenes and cutting out the filler arcs that are completely irrelevant to the plot would solve almost all of my problems with it, and would probably make it a way, way, way better anime experience. But that right there is pretty much the anime rankings for the week. And so I can take this down and remove it from stage and present my face to you yet again. Because we're going to move into news and stuff, and I'm probably not going to go full screen. But yeah, that's everything I've watched. I have read a little bit, not like a terrible. I've read some like one-shots and stuff. Nothing really to like report back on there. Just some like really weird like Yuri series, I guess, about this like chick who is obsessed with her like standoffish class president. I like the artist's art style. Honestly, that's like the most interesting thing to me. And the way that like they do like faces and all of that. It's an entertaining series just for that much. But yeah, that is pretty much everything that I have watched, and all of the recap I sort of want to do for the anime week. There are some things I didn't catch up on. Like You Are Mismade. I didn't have enough time for that. There are some other things like my wife became an elementary school student. I know how that sounds, but trust me, from everything I've seen from people who are fans of the series, it is entirely wholesome. And there is nothing sus going on. Am I frozen? Or is that just my... Okay, it seems like it might have just been my laptop goofing. Okay. I will accept that. So moving on from all of that. Let's I guess bring up the first item of news. Because next time on Dragon Ball Z, you will not have the same narrator. Doc Harris, the legendary Dragon Ball Z English narrator, has sadly passed away. RIP. I don't have much to say on this other than he was part of the reason that I got into anime, which would be Dragon Ball. The fact is that without Dragon Ball, I never would have gotten into anime, and without Naruto, I never would have actually really liked anime. Dragon Ball was cool. Naruto showed me the actual effective story power that some of these shows have. And from there, it has been a spiral because after that, I discovered ReZero and so much more. I started reading manga, which is what really started me down the whole reading path. Is I wanted to read My Hero Academia and see what was going on. And it started with that. And as you can see behind me, I have a problem. So yeah. Without Dragon Ball, I wouldn't be here. And that narrator was an iconic part of it. A very memed part of it. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. So rest in peace to a legend. I know I'm way late on the news, but I don't cover these things until the weekend. And sometimes they happen right after I finish streaming. So it's just not fair to me. So now we're going to move into some other heavy topics and a final resolution to something I talked pretty extensively about last week. The Chibi reviews drama that happened. So I'm trying to remember exactly how far it went last week. I believe it was just doxing was where we left off last week. And it somehow got worse. So basically, Chibi made a post like he does with as an anime creator about how excuse me. I shouldn't have been drinking before the stream. About how animators did a really good job in the bad scene with the Serapoans and Momo in Dandadan. He talked about how they did a really good job animating that. And people, of course, got really upset with him and started going after him. And this led to people threatening him, his family, mocking his dead brother, and then going so far as to dox him. And it got worse. It got way, way worse because one of his accounts was hacked. Luckily, it was only an old DeviantArt account. That's all it was, fortunately. But the hackers started posting something that rhymes with wild corn on his account. Yeah, and people were honestly defending the doxers and all of that, and I'm just sitting here if you're hacking someone to post wild corn on their account, where is that stuff coming from? And true to form, you probably can't see that well, can you? The guy who posted the wild corn to Chibi's DeviantArt was raided by the feds. Good. as should be done. Good. So now Chibi is back in control of his account. He was actually locked out of Twitter for a little while. I'll bring myself back in here. And yeah, some fucked up shit happened. He was going to drop off from like doing any like tweeting or anything. But yeah, it got way worse than when I covered it last week. And now it's died down. I think the one thing I disagree with Chibi's actions on were he got pretty emotional and he made a video showing his gun. Not something you should do, honestly. If you're ever in a situation where something like this happens, do not show the gun. And there's two reasons for that. One, legally, it could backfire on you. Two, never let a potential attacker know what you're packing. Only let them regret that they didn't think about the possibility after everything's been said and done. Okay? That's all I will say. Never show your attacker your fangs until you are absolutely sure that this is when it needs to happen. That's what I'll say about the subject. I think he got a little too emotional, a little too scared, and tried to show the gun as a way of like trying to deal with the heat, but this is the internet. And it's also not a good legal move. I can't really blame him for being afraid in the situation, especially after his house and his brother's grave were leaked. But you still need to operate with some sense of rationality when these things happen. Letting emotion govern you is how you end up fucking up. And I think that is Chibi's big fuck up in this was the gun. Otherwise, he's innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. He posted about some animation and people went apeshit. And a lot of people talked about how, like, is the Dawn to Dawn community now, like, the most toxic group on the internet? No, the issue is, I think it was actually crazies from another community, the Boruto community, who has an active beef with Chibi because he doesn't like their series. The Doxer was part of the Boruto community. The Boruto community celebrated him being doxxed. And when I say that, I'm not talking about every Boruto fan. There are probably some good Boruto fans out there who aren't absolutely crazies, but the Boruto fandom, along with some others like Dragon Ball and ReZero, have been toxic, festering cesspools that allow their crazies to get away scot-free with the bullshit that they do. Need some audio tweaks. Am I too loud? Yeah, let me know if anything's not working properly, because I can probably adjust that stuff on the fly. I would really appreciate any input on it. How about this? Am I better now? Because I can adjust the gain on my mic right here, and I can probably go into my settings and picking up more reverb than norm. I will have to look into take that taken care of, huh? Because I don't know how to deal with the reverb and all of this. It may have to do with getting something to like go over my mic and take care of some of that, but oh well. I'll have to come back and watch this and see what you're talking about. Because, I mean, the start of my stream was me forgetting that I was muted and talking for like 5 minutes before realizing that nothing I was saying was getting through. Anyway, hopefully things, let's go over here and see if I can actually audio, echo cancellation. Let's try that. See if that will help with audio levels and reverb and all that. Okay. Now to get back on track. So, that's pretty much the Chibi situation and how it's broken down. I'm glad to see that all this is getting resolved and that Chibi actually went and talked to his lawyer as one of his first acts. But it's not bad, but I know you would complain about the reverb and room bounce, and it's a little low for me, but it's a non-Ivan stream bad. Yeah, it looks like I will have to go back and check this out and see if I can do anything to take care of it. I wonder. Yeah. So we'll reduce this. It's wild to me that the anime community has gotten to this point where like we're not pushing back against crazies. A lot of people have, but we continue to let them sort of like fester in the corner of fandoms. If the Boruto community wanted to gain my respect, I would have liked to see a lot of them, and they probably did, not support this. But I would like to have seen less of people like jumping on the bandwagon of hating Chibi, and more of people actually like being like, "Hey guys, we shouldn't be living up to our bad reputation right now." But yeah, as I posted on Twitter, this whole situation is basically what happens when you give minors a fatherless minors an unrestricted access to the internet, because that's pretty much the huge issue. Is you have a bunch of immature people on the internet doing this kind of shit. So yeah, that has been one absolute fucking shit show. And as long as we're on it, I might as well talk about this thing, because I keep telling myself no, but I do not know how much longer I can resist buying this thing, okay? I just got to say it. I want this really, really, really badly. But I also know that the price tag on it ain't terribly great, especially after buying a PC. But I want it so bad. I have a figurine addiction. It is not good. It is not good. Chat, stop me. Please. Hold me back, chat. Hold me back. The issue is I don't even know where I would put it. Like, if you can look at my shelves and stuff up here, like, where the fuck do I have space to put that thing? I have to rearrange so much. It'd be so much fucking work. God damn it if it isn't cool, you know? Dang it. I want it so bad. Yeah, but a lot of those are already kind of like sold out. So they end up going up way, way, way a bunch in price. Like, there was one that I wanted to get. You horny motherfucker. Of course you want to see Seiko. But yeah. Honestly, like, there was one I wanted to get for Claymore. And it is Awakened Claire versus Priscilla. More specifically, Teresa of the Faint Smile versus Priscilla. And it looks fucking incredible. But because they are like limited edition resin cast statues, there's only so many of them, and trying to buy one after they started or after they went into production costs a pretty penny. The particular one I was looking at was $1,000, $1,500+ depending on who you're looking at. It's insane how much the price on some of these things go up once they like fully sell out. So that's why I look at the Okaroon one and I'm like, I want to jump in on this because this is one of the things I actually want to talk about is like Okaroon pretty much being an ideal protagonist for a story. Because I feel like there's so much that's done right with that character that should be replicated more often with his archetype. And maybe we'll get a little bit into that later. If Roland said he was going to be here, and he did text me saying that Don was really good. So maybe we'll talk about it when we get into that. But yeah. Curious. It may have something to do with settings. Huh. So did that right there help with the mic volume issue you're talking about? Because I just went and I turned up my mic in Streamlabs over here, and I could probably deal with a little bit of the reverb by turning this down and like the background noise and stuff, and turning this up. So if my audio levels have changed at any point, I would like to know about that. Hopefully that helps fix some of the things that are going on. Because again, this is new setup, still dealing with all the kinks. Oh, I love having the ability to have my administrative stuff over here and the actual material over here. It feels great. So this is, I'll touch on the Okaru stuff later because I am terribly interested in getting my hands on that figure. Although I don't know if I can adjust it. I need to stop talking about that because I'm gonna end up convincing myself to buy it. So Adult Swim producer claims Uzumaki quality drop, the result of production team being screwed over. Says the series was aired instead of being canceled out of respect for the hard work. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and the reason I ask is because like you're there right now, and if I can experiment with someone, then I can figure out how this stuff is going on the fly. It makes it a whole lot easier. So this has been one of the big subjects that's come up. So Uzumaki episode 1 dropped, and people really, really loved the series. They thought it was great. It had a hugely positive reception. And then episode 2 came out, and people started dragging the series for its animation because, frankly, it was straight up pathetic how bad it was. And this does make sense. And I do know that this stuff has kind of happened in series because So I'm a Spider, So What, from what I've been told, has suffered a similar fate where it was people getting screwed over in production, resulting in some of the worst CGI work I have ever seen. And that's saying something because I've watched a lot of bad anime. So, according to Toonami boss and Adult Swim producer Jason DeMarco, while the network's new anime adaptation of Uzumaki does see an embarrassingly steep drop in quality after its first episode, he felt airing the series in this state was better than bringing it all together and disrespecting the hard work of its production team. I can kind of respect the position production in collaboration between Japanese studio IG and American TV programming block Adult Swim, the 4-episode Uzumaki promised to not only provide viewers with the anime adaptation, the eponymous Junji Ito horror manga, but do so with an aesthetic style that would make it seem as if the iconic manga's art had been leaping right off the page. Sorry, I butchered the reading of that so badly because eponymous threw me off. And look, I will give it to this anime and to Junji Ito. This series does get that like creepy vibe to it down really well. While an admittedly tall ambition following a delay-ridden 5-year dev period, where the series finally premiered in Japan to Japanese audiences on September 29th, it appeared as if its respective production teams had actually managed to deliver on their promise, with the first episode blowing audiences away with the skill and dedication it had shown in recreating both Ito's seminal art style and its intended creepy atmosphere. Ugh. And then a week later came episode 2, premiering on October 6th. Upon its airing, fans were baffled to discover that while its predecessor had featured some of the best animation in recent memory, not even an inkling of this quality was present in its follow-up. Ooh, it looks like they do have some stuff embedded here, so we can actually talk about what's going on with this animation. As seen below, rather than an intricate treatment of Ito's work, the second episode was instead a masterclass in cutting corners, its runtime filled with poorly timed run cycles. So let's just close this out. Yeah, that's... this animation is something else. Oh boy. I've seen this so many times now because it's come up in my feed with people talking about it. But it still never fails to amaze me just how hard the animation... Shit, didn't mean to do that. Luckily, I can just go back to it. So yeah, the insane drop in quality of Uzumaki episode 2. Lots of people talking about how all of this went down. Oh, what's this one? No, I didn't mean to do that. I want to close these out. Be done with it. I guess it's dubbed too. Amid a subsequent barrage of criticism and questions from audiences regarding this downgrade, the aforementioned DeMarco took his personal Blue Sky account on October 7th to provide insight into the entire affair. In a now deleted thread made in apparent response to a comment made by another user regarding the backlash, the Toonami had asserted, "It's fine, we knew it would happen. I can't talk about what went down, but we were screwed over, and the options were not finish and air nothing and call it a loss, just finish and air episode 1 and leave it incomplete, or C, run all 4 warts and all. Out of respect for the hard work, we chose C." So basically, his option was a lot of people put in effort to make this. We're going to air it. But my perspective on this is maybe you would have been better off holding it and not doing anything with it, or just airing the first episode. After waiting so long, it makes sense people would be mad, he continued. Unfortunately, I can't tell them who to blame it on. But someone is definitely at fault here, and we all just had to do our best when things imploded. Maybe others would have made different choices. We did the best we could with what we had. Drawing this thread to a close, DeMarco ultimately affirmed, but again, a lot of people worked very hard on the show, and I didn't think the actions of just one or two people should be the reason it never saw the light of day. He kind of seems pissed at the people who screwed him over, huh? Maybe that's the wrong choice. I truly don't know, he concluded. But those people have a right to be annoyed and disappointed. I'm glad you're digging it. The last two episodes of Production IG and Adult Swim's Uzumaki Misfire are set to across the next two Sundays. Set to come out across the next two Sundays. So tomorrow, which probably still won't be watching it, especially not after the animation drop. I was kind of interested because it did look really good for that first episode, but the second one, but tomorrow, Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 begins. So I will probably be watching that more than anything. But yeah, it's sad to see. Like some of these industry things, they just happen. Like you get screwed over. I know how it is. We've kind of had to deal with that on jobs recently. And I'm not talking about the oven that I keep ranting about. I'm talking about other stuff. Shit happens. Things can't get done. I know how it is. I honestly respect him for not throwing blame. Because it is very easy to start talking about how everyone else is fucking shit up. And how it's all someone else's fault. It's very easy to fall into that mentality. But this guy didn't. He probably easily could have just gone out and been like, yeah, so and so fucked us over. They didn't do this, this, and that. And instead, they decided to just roll with it and be done. Hats off to you, bud. Hats off that you actually did that. But still, it kind of sucks to fans that they're not getting what they really wanted out of it. So I figured out why my microphone sucks. What you were talking about. The thought dawned on me. So, muffler tape. Does this sound a whole lot better? I'm curious to see if this sounds a whole lot better. Because I might have just figured out what my problem is. And if that's it, I'm an idiot. Oh, I just keep fucking shit up tonight if this is true. If this actually... Oh, God, I'm really hoping that... I mean, I'm hoping that it is just that. So... I may or may not have forgotten to switch my audio settings over to my actual microphone. So what was actually picking up the sound was my webcam. That would explain the reverb, the echoing, all of it. This is weird. I am streaming right now, Ronnie. What? Okay, that's kind of weird. Why does it keep doing that? Let me see. So I'm going to it. Yeah, this is like the second week in a row. Someone has come in here and like, yeah, I can go over to my I can go over to my stream right now and I can actually watch. Huh. Tech is weird. What the heck? What the heck is going on? Well, this has turned into chaos trying to figure out what's what the actual hell is going on with everything. I think I might have fixed my mic problem. I'm hoping that's the case. Because that would be really, really nice. But now it is the issue of people not actually seeing the streams go live, which interesting. Oh, so now it's working? Now it's working? Oh, dear God. Tech is fucking wonky, huh? Okay, well, yeah. Maybe I'll run this a little bit longer, see if Rolo shows up, because one of the things that I do want to go over is talking about like it just started very late and you had to bring it up to yeah. I don't think you missed much other than me learning that I'm terrible at reading, learning that I had my mic set or my audio input set to the wrong device. Also me realizing not realizing I was muted at the beginning of the stream. A lot of tech fuck ups. Maybe some odd comments about some anime, but nothing terribly worth clipping right now. You're probably not going to trust me on that anyway. But going forward, there are some like I do want to go over to just some like plans and stuff. Now that I have a proper PC, I did a test stream last night on a live channel here, doing some like Risk of Rain stuff, and that was fun. But moving forward, I'm gonna do some like Monster Hunter and stuff. I'll probably play with some other friends of mine and all that. And what I am going to do is start like setting up my own like Discord and all of that. Because what you can do with your Discord is there is an option for memberships and all this. And this isn't an original idea to me. Some other people have done this, but eventually I do want to like have some sort of reason to like be a member of the channel or the Discord or whatever, what have you. And in particular, I mean, I have my own, I have some with just like my friends, but I want to do one for the channel. And I've got some stuff to set up for that. It's going to be a little bit of work. But yeah, the idea is basically members having the option to like participate in some of these like gaming streams and stuff. Would be a fun way to like get the audience to interact and have some sort of reward for member participation and all of that. The issue is like when it comes to games and stuff, maybe you're thinking of Roman's Discord. Yeah, Roman does have one. But effectively my idea is like if I'm playing Monster Hunter or whatever, you have 3 open slots because you can have a party of 4. might as well just like have some fun. Like if I like there are like fans and stuff out there who are members of the Discord and end up wanting to play Monster Hunter or whatever. Fun to dick around and meet people and have like an actual way to interact with your fandom other than just through typing at a keyboard or doing streams and stuff. Plus like more community games and stuff. I almost hesitate to do some of those things, but yeah, do a little bit more gaming stuff on the live channel and on Twitch. And eventually do some like proper playthroughs of things. And I mean, I got to do like the Dark Souls stuff, the Batman stuff. Close that out. Lots of games I need to play. I have some indie stuff on my backlog. Probably will end up doing some like random Minecraft stuff as well. I know my brother has a server that he plays on. It's heavily modded. It might be fun to just do some shit with that. But mostly just like Monster Hunter, maybe some like shooters like Warframe, the First Descendant. I do play a little bit of those. Who knows how it's going to go? Another thing that I do want to talk about is like getting back into videos and stuff. The Okaroon thing is one that I do want to end up making, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about that if Rolo shows up, which he hasn't. He texted me like an hour ago. But hey. What else? So yeah, there's the Okaroon video talking about like the ideal protagonist thing. The next one I am going to be making is just like the trope that I find can go either way, like the idea of a like pathetic hero, pretty much. Talking about like good examples in anime and all that stuff of like how this character archetype can be used and who does it right, who does it wrong, and why. Maybe do some like random other streams, like doing like I got a bunch of light novels I need to read, so I might as well make some content out of that, right? And other than that, I don't know. Yeah, so hopefully trying to get back in the swing of making regular videos because getting the PC and getting this all set up has thrown me through a loop. Probably will not stream next week because I think I'll be at another concert. I wasn't going to stream beginning of October because I thought the concert was on a Saturday. It turned out to be on a Sunday. This one, I'm going to have to drive like a state away. And yeah, we're going to have to stay overnight. So it's probably going to be no stream next week. If I'm thinking about this right. But I will try and do some like gaming stuff to make up for it. As well as oh my god, yes. Slay, Tay. Oh my god. No, to be entirely honest, I'm going to a Demon Hunter concert. Trying to remember who all is there. But Demon Hunter is one of my favorite bands. I love Ryan Clark's voice. Great singer. They do all sorts of. The last time I went to see, well, I shouldn't say the last time. The first time I went to see them, we drove all the way to St. Louis, which is quite a drive for me. I live in northern Illinois. And they did like they were doing a tour for their dual album War and Peace. So Peace was a lot of their more melodic soft stuff, and War was like their hardcore act. So you had a bunch of like dudes with like mohawks and stuff singing along to like some like slow songs like Dead Flowers and I Am a Stone and all that stuff. And then like they go into like an intermission and they come out and they play one of their heaviest songs, The Negative. and the same guys who were like 10 minutes before, like all like singing along and like having a good, relaxing time. Mosh pit. It's insanity. Everyone's fucking pushing each other. Yeah. It was a great show. If you wanna know about my taste, this is center it up a little bit there. This is Era. I like Era too. Just went to see them. I hope you're happy with your clip, Ronnie. uh, yeah, I'm gonna try and do some like proper. I don't know what that is. Um, I don't know what you want me to respond from that, but Era's another hardcore band, and they were on tour with Wage War, and that's kind of what I did for my birthday. Was I got to see Wage War and Era at the same time. I don't know if I can like keep this going because I don't really have anything to talk heavily about. Yeah, I'm onto your games, you fucker. I know how you operate. I know you're probably still pissed at me for timing you out in Roman's chat like 3 weeks ago. Or 4 weeks ago, or however long ago that was. Uh you forgot about that? Well, now you remember. I don't care. You can be mad at me all you want. It just makes the videos funnier when they come out, honestly. And I swear, if my relatives keep finding your video before they find my channel, I'm going to continue to be pissed at you, okay? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'll probably do a little bit of streaming tomorrow for some gaming and stuff. So probably pick up my Griffith Monster Hunter playthrough, and we'll go from there because I got the intro done for that character, and my first like actual hunts and stuff on that character are going to be interesting. Going to be going back to my original playthrough style with the long sword, which is just a giant katana. Weeaboo shit. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But kind of looks like I need to wrap it up because yeah, like how dare he fucking cancel on us this week? Yeah. Well, we all need to like we need to someone's got to have his address saved. We all need to just go like gank him and beat his ass. In Minecraft, okay? Don't actually do that. But I think it's probably time I just like straight up wrapped it up because I don't have anything else to talk about. It was a light news week. There wasn't a whole lot of like big stuff to cover. I did watch a lot of anime. I talked about that at the beginning of the stream after I learned to unmute my mic. And unfortunately, before you have his address. And unfortunately, before I realized that I was streaming out of my fucking webcam instead of my proper mic, I'm retarded. Okay? Particularly when it comes to technology. But yeah, hit everything I wanted to talk about tonight. don't really have any more topics. And I don't know what happened to Roland, but he ain't here, and I'm not just gonna sit here in a chat and talk about nothing for 45 minutes hoping he shows up. Things don't match up. Things don't match up. It's as simple as that. And it is about time we ended this. So because he didn't show up, it's at his expense.
Basically, if you don't have a penis, don't hit on me.
Hibana-chan.